The following program is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
Good evening, my people. What's going on? It's your boy eBuck, and this is another episode of the I Am Nighthawk Pod Show. It is the season finale as we are going to be shutting things down to some degree after today for the summer. I will explain more of that later on in the broadcast. Right now, hoping that you guys are doing well. It's the 1st of June, 2025. And if you are here watching right now, as opposed to listening on our listening platform, WTEA Radio and Nighthawk Network Radio, to be reestablished sometime later on this month, we'll get to all that. But you can see that your boy ain't looking too cool today. Tired. I really am tired, but I felt like I still needed to finally do this show that I've been planning on doing for weeks now, man. Because it is important for me to give my thoughts to the class of 2025. First and foremost, congratulations to all of you who are graduating either from your high school, your college of choice, trade school, middle school, hell, even elementary school. Though I must admit, I've always felt some type of way about celebrating the kindergarten graduation. My personal thought is, y'all remember what kindergarten was like. You can't do kindergarten. That's a bad do right off the rip, and we got some other things to work on. And hey, let's move on. Anyway, this message is for you, the class of 2025. First of all, congratulations on all your accomplishments. Understand that some people wonder why people, particularly people of color, African Americans, seem to stress more about the graduation as opposed to some of the other cultures. It is because if you know your history, our American history, there was once upon a time when we as African Americans were not allowed to become educated in any way, shape, or form outside of basic English and knowledge, okay? We weren't allowed to learn to read or write. It was not only seen as bad in some cases, in some unfortunate cases, it cost people their lives. Remember that part of your history if you remember nothing else. So the fact that you are now not only able to educate yourselves, but have gone through the standards necessary to become a graduate, it is a very huge accomplishment, not to be belittled. And that's, of course, we're talking kindergarten. Again, I've said my thoughts on that. Nonetheless, again, congratulations to you all. Understand we are now moving into a whole new age. We are, for the most part, putting the pandemic behind us. There will be generations moving forward that will forget what we went through in regards to that, much like we forgot what was went through in the pandemic in the early 1900s. Again, if you don't know that, you should do some research. Remember, education, despite it being your time to shine, is forever going, okay? Which is my first message to you, the class of 25. Never stop growing. Never stop learning. Continue to seek all knowledge when and ever possible. You learn three important things as you get an education here or anywhere on the planet. Learning to read is important because with that ability, you can then educate yourself on many subjects if you choose to. Learning to write gives you the ability to express your thoughts in a way that some people cannot verbally. Understand that is a skill that we should not lose in this day and age. And being able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide still very important in this day and age in this world, because in the end, money. Money still makes the world go round. And if you have a basic knowledge of that, you can move forward with that understanding. Now, understand, people, some of you are going on to higher education, whether it be high school, college, what have you. Remember, there are many adults in this world of ours who at one point in time said, when I grow up, dot, 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 I'm going to be dot, dot, dot. And initially it was one thing, but eventually became other things. I am one of those many people. I grew up wanting to be several things as a kid: firefighter, police officer, baseball player, Heisman Trophy winner, all that good stuff that kids dream, and hopefully some still dream. Now, for some of you, if you was Travis Hunter, you realize that dream is Heisman Trophy winner. If you was an officer, then you did the officer thing, so on and so forth. But for many people, you put that dream in the rear view and end up doing something else with your life. Understand, very importantly, whatever you choose to do or whatever chooses you later on down the line in life, if it is your purpose and mission, is important. So do not feel belittled if in the end you become a CNA or a custodial engineer or a restaurateur or anything that you basically end up doing that pays the bills and may sustain you for the next 20, 30 years. Everybody can't be president. Everybody can't be CEO. Everybody can't be the top of the top and the best of the best. We are always taught, okay, you could be whatever you want to be. That is true. But in the end, only so many slots for so many folks, okay? We understand that. Now, that being said, that message in and of itself may drive you to say, you know what, E-Buck? Smurf, what you talking about? I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. One of these days, I'm going to be the president of these United States. I'm going to be the next Barack Obama or Joe Biden or whoever is your hero on that level. And for you, I say, prove me wrong. Do you. Do it big and make it known that that is part of why you did it. Ain't mad at you. But for those of you who end up just living a normal life with basic job A, if you are a person in good standing, a good family person, you take care of your loved ones and your kids, you paid your bills, understand there's nothing wrong in that. There is no shame in that. It is also just as important that you do you as all the big dogs do the big dog stuff, okay? Money makes the world go round, but in the end, much like in the animal kingdom in certain species, you got to have worker bees just like you got to have king and queens, okay? It's okay if in the end you are a worker bee. But just understand that being that worker bee, be the best worker bee you can, okay? Do you to the best level. And if in the end you start out one way, don't give up the fight. Keep progressing. Keep trying. That is part of what life's about. Also understand that if you go to college and you get your degree and what you have chosen to be your career at this point in time, and life steers you in other directions, there's nothing wrong with that either. Yes, I understand. Yeah, okay, well, you went to school and you did that and you wasted all this money. No, I don't see it that way. College is an experience that I feel every person who can afford to go should at least experience to some degree on some level for some period of time. I think it is helpful for all. But in the end, I do recognize, as a college graduate even, that college is not for everybody. It is not everybody's cup of tea. It is not meant for everybody. That's why there are trade schools, there are internships, there are apprenticeships. And I wish there were more effort and emphasis put on those things. It really needs to be, now that we are in the world of the future, which is why I have tonight's set. For those of you who can't see it, it's a futuristic set of what life may be like years from now, maybe just a couple years from now, as the advancement of AI and all these other things are taking off at extremely fast levels. Remember, just 20 years ago, we had cell phones, but they don't look like they do now. You actually watching me, most of you on a cell phone. Couldn't do that 20 years ago at all. Most people, your cell phone, if you lose it, you have lost a considerable part of your human beingship, because there's so much that we rely on our phone for and are in our phones that if we lose that ability, it throws us off. Had a conversation with somebody today who broke their phone, and it basically has thrown their world for a loop these last few days. Because that's just how tied into our lives these phones have become. But remember, technology is advancing every single day on all types of levels, and we need to be prepared and capable to deal with it, okay? Just like how some people have Apple phones, some people have Android phones. But look at what our government is talking about doing in terms of tariffs and whatnot. How many people are going to have Apple phones if in the end current president don't get his wish to have Apple make phones here in the United States, and he decides to tariff them up the wazoo, to where now an iPhone that's already more expensive than it probably should be ends up being $2, $3, $4,000. How many of you are going to have iPhones then? And some of y'all, because y'all so tied into the phone, will insist on having a new one, will basically then they go bankrupt trying to pay for a freaking phone. It's crazy. I mean, hell, I'm sitting here looking at my phone. Once upon a time, I had a cell phone. It cost a mere $25 a month. $25 don't even pay for the service now, okay? That's the way of the world as it stands. So in the end, you the graduates of 2025, if your life takes you in a direction to where, okay, this ain't quite what I had in mind, but I am paying my bills, my family is fed, we got a roof over our head, that's the real goal, okay? If in the end you don't end up being a doctor or a lawyer, not the end of the world if you still end up being a good person and able to take care of yourself. That is the real goal in this thing, okay? Remember that always. Sometimes the path less taken is the better road for some folks. And for other folks, understand. I know you're going to college now, and it's like, okay, I still don't know quite what I want to do. Not sure. I understand you're paying for college and it costs money to go and all that, but take your time. Take your time and go through the process. Learn. In the end, ask your questions. Find out who the counselors are in your college. Talk to them. If you go through your classes that first semester and you're struggling mightily, before you just say, oh, smurf this, go talk to somebody. Say, hey, I'm having trouble with this thing. Can I get some help? What should I do? Am I in the wrong classes? So on and so forth. Go through that part of the process. I think if more people have done that previously, more people would have graduated from college. It's crazy because when we talk about the student loan payments and whatnot, and how there's still billions of dollars out here that people still owe to these colleges, understand the majority, and I mean like almost 65% of these people that owe all this money, they didn't even graduate from college. They owe money for something that they did not even finish. And sometimes it was circumstance, and sometimes it was happenstance. Sometimes you just learned that, yeah, this wasn't for me, but now I'm still stuck with this debt. Coach V in the building. What's going on, Coach? Like I said, there's thousands upon thousands of jobs out here in this world. And somebody got to do them, okay? Now understand, if you are in a dead end situation right now and you wants to do better, remember, there are still ways to educate yourself. There are still levels you can go if you put in the research and find what you need to find in order to make it happen. Coach V saying everything's good. We lost yesterday. Sorry to hear about that, Coach. Keep in mind, Coach V, whose show is Straight Sports Talk with Coach V. We do here at the Nighthawk Network on Fridays at 8 p.m. Please check it out. That will still be going on this summer, even after we shut things down. Again, I'll explain more of that later on near the end of the show. But those are some things I'm working on. But back to you, the class of 2025. I need you guys to know, very importantly, that you matter. You may not think so. You may have said, okay, I've graduated. Now what? You may just be a mere 15 or 18 or 21 years old. Trust me, in an ideal world, life expectancy still 75 plus. You still got plenty of time to figure out what direction you wants to go in your life. Okay? Do not forget that this world that we live in, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it is important for you to understand that, so that when you figure out your next corresponding moves, it is not done based on, okay, what do I need to do right now for right now? It should also be based on, what do I need to do right now to prepare myself for later on down the line in the future. That part. Now, good people, many of you will probably see this broadcast after the fact, not catching it live. Normally, I share the live to other folks. Did not do that this evening. It's okay. I'll probably share it afterwards, in fact. But do know part of it is because I am going through some things. I am all of 54 years old, if you don't know. Today I feel it. Today I look it. Some days you will feel and look that age and older. It's part of the life process. Some days life is going to beat you up, good people. People always at this point in time want to have you look at things from the standpoint of, okay, the world is your oyster, go get it and all of that. And yeah, to some degree, definitely have that let's get to it spirit. But do know some days will not be good days. And it's okay to not have a good day. It's okay to struggle from time to time. It's also okay to ask for help when you need some along the way. Trust me, myself, my pride does get in the way at times when it comes to getting some help. Not always a good thing. But again, it's part of the life process. And life is a process, people, a day-to-day one. The three most important things I can tell you, class of 25, moving forward is, one, treat every day as its own victory, okay? Because if you are alive and well to wake up to see another day, that in and of itself is a gift, because tomorrow someone will wake up and no longer be here. Might be me, might be you, we don't know. It's best that we don't know exactly when we gonna be gone, you know? Imagine what type of stress that would be. If you knew, okay, about 6 years, 2 days, I don't think we all could live the same if we had that knowledge. You know? That being said, if you are struggling, and you thinking, oh, I know because tomorrow, no, do not. Do not do it. Do not be the cause of your end of the story. Nothing you go through in this life is so bad that you should take your life into your hands to that degree. Always seek out some help. Always find someone to talk to. Always acknowledge that, okay, things bad right now, but right now, let me find somebody to help me out because this is not a good do. Remember that very important life lesson, people. Also, remember, sometimes you got to stop and say, okay, life, you're doing a lot. Let me get a minute. That's a lesson I'm still learning to this day, good people, at 54 plus. Sometimes you get to living life so much that you take no time to stop and smell the flowers. We got to do that, y'all, because we need to appreciate the life we've been given when we can. That's a lesson I'm still learning, like I said. Let me make sure that you know that lesson so you don't forget. And then also keep in mind the world that we are living in is under constant change. Constant change. What we see today is just the beginning of some other future 5, 10, 20 years from now that we may not have even truly conceived. We just really started talking AI vigorously these last 3 years, and look at how far we have gotten. Understand, I just type in a few words and you get this set like I got back here. Once upon a time, in order to do this, you would have to literally sit there and draw something and perhaps project it to a projector screen. Now I just type it in and boom, you see it in my little camera. My camera that's basically smaller than this deck of cards, okay? Once upon a time, camera was this big old gigantic thing. You had to wheel around and, you know what I'm saying? Now cameras are small as these, even smaller. These size cameras, you know what I'm saying? That's just how much the world has changed in such a small period of time. So we can only imagine 10, 20 years from now what we're looking at. Y'all be on the TikTok, look up future inventions, look up life in China. You'll see some stuff and it's like, that exists already? Right now? In 2025? Yes, it does. And in the minds of some of our more talented and thoughtful people, you have some things in mind that in a couple years you will create, that you will invent, that will even make transitions to even bigger and better things in terms of what we need and what we're doing. You are the future of AI and inventions and such. Good luck and use the knowledge wisely, I will say. But again, remember, good people, 2025, you are the graduates. You are the future. Learn from us, but remember the saying that you heard in that Nike commercial as a kid for you, where they said through the mouth of the one and only LeBron James, don't be me, be better than me. I say that to y'all. Don't be us, be better than us. Because you see how the world is right now. There are some good things going on in this world, and there are some very bad things. Adopt the good, learn from the bad, do better, be better. That is my message to you, the class of 2025. Take it for what it's worth. Do your thing. Again, congratulations on your accomplishments. Now, when we come back, we are going to talk on a personal level. as I discuss with you my summer plans and Nighthawk Network and things going on, and give a couple of acknowledgments, as I like to do at the end of all my seasons, to some people that help things happen. Some of which we will show right now as we give them their flowers through these commercials that we have made or been sent over the years in the network. Again, y'all know the motto. It's right there in the corner. Nighthawk Network, our voices for our people. We'll be right back. Nighthawk Network presents Pastor Sean Love. Pastor Sean Love, devoted father and husband, a residing pastor at the River Rouge Bible Assembly in River Rouge, Michigan. Join him as he gives us messages from God's Word, Bible study, and encouragement. You can find him on YouTube under Sean Love.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea-sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling.
In this world full of opinions, it is time you hear some of hers. Speaking Freely with Ms. Geigo Podcast. Find it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as where other great podcasts are found.
Hey, this is your boy E-Buck, and if you're looking for some great desserts, something sweet, something to treat yourself with, please check out my girl Caramel Sweets here in the Metro Detroit area. She can make desserts for your function, your event, or just for that special someone you want to give something nice to. So check her out. It's Caramel Sweets. You can find her on Facebook and Instagram. We appreciate you.
Hold up.
Sports his way. It's the Guru's perspectives.
Oh, my bad. Let's try that again. We are back. This is the I Am Nighthawk Pod Show. I am your boy E-Buck. And we have been talking to the class of 2025. Again, congratulations to you all. Good luck in your future endeavors. We are now talking about the end of the season. This being season 5 of my Nighthawk Network podcast. Been a busy 5 years. A lot has happened. A lot has transpired. Went through a whole pandemic and all, you know. It's been a struggle at times. It is a struggle now. As I sit here discussing with y'all tonight, here on June 1st, let me tell you, I am tired. It is not a good tired, by the way. It is a tired that is been brought on by me constantly working every day for the last several months, trying to get my life back in some semblance of order and non-chaos. Okay? I am struggling, as you see, with my weight. I am struggling financially. I am struggling mentally at times. I am struggling to just do some of the basic stuff that I need to get done. So this break from the podcast is very necessary. It has come at the proper time. We are slowly getting things in some semblance of order that I'm more comfortable with. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. But I must remember, as an older person with health issues, when you push yourself, and sometimes you push yourself too hard and too far, that is not necessarily a good thing. It is part of what caused my health issues in the past. I recognize that if I don't make some adjustments and make them quickly, I may find myself in some of those situations. As my brother Tracy is checking in. What's going on, Tracy? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. I see Big Meech tuned in as well. What's going on, Meech? You gotta understand in life sometimes it's just like these cards that I always pull out for different variations of things on the shows. This at this point is kind of reminding me of that famous song from The Gambler. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. Right now, I understand that, okay, I'm burning the candle at both ends. It hits a little different at 54 than it did at 34 and 24. Got to figure some things out in a way to where I'm not overstressing and overtaxing my mind and my body, but still getting the things done that I need to get done. There are literally sitting in my face several bills I need to better figure out. There is a list of stuff in this envelope that I need to address in the next 2 weeks. There is a pile of receipts and bills I need to organize and put up. There are some things I need to do. Me just saying, and I'm sorry that I can't put these on here because, you know, the YouTube comments pop up here on the EB Mutts. Facebook ones don't. But me just saying, no, it's not. We are not 20 anymore. That is so very true, my friend. So very true. And I know you can relate to a lot of what I'm saying because you have had that feeling as well at times. We have to pace ourselves differently. And again, Meech, I apologize for not submitting more content to your platform, which is WTA Radio. Again, at times I'm trying to do this and want to do that and all that, and it just don't work out. I've had some technical difficulties. I've worked out a lot of that stuff, thank goodness. But still, it comes to time and energy and whatnot. And again, with me trying to do a weekly podcast, a weekly sports podcast, other podcasts, there's some other things I want to work out with other folks. I need to find the time and the energy to do it all. So with me taking the break for the summer from my podcast, that'll give me the opportunity to work out some of those other things before I get back to doing me. I will say moving forward, I am looking to do I Am Nighthawk a little differently. You probably won't get so many live episodes moving forward just because sometimes it's better for me to work when my energy is better. And me truly being a Nighthawk, sometimes it's better for me to say, okay, let me come home, get my rest on, and then when I wake up, oftentimes in the middle of the night, thinking about these things that I think about, to do the shows then. And since I have the technology to do them pre-recorded, I probably will do more of them that way. And then basically just check in on your comments after the fact. Because truthfully, the comments have not been as much as they were when we first got started. And keep in mind, during the pandemic, we all had time. You know, now y'all have time, but not so much and don't take as much. Plus, remember, back then, podcast was really starting to jump off. Not everybody got one. When I say everybody, I mean everybody. You know, Big Meech is in the building. He's been doing this for damn near 20 years now. Okay. Podcast veteran extraordinaire. Know some of the podcast veteran extraordinaire has met some great people in the business. Me, myself, 5 years in, I've met a few folks myself, and there's a lot of people I would love to sit down and have conversations with and have on the podcast and whatnot. I do want to get back at some point to having guests on the show, perhaps having a co-host at some point for the I Am Nighthawk show, or at least some people that pop in from time to time and give some of their thoughts on some of the stuff I'm talking about. We will work on some of that over the course of the summer. But then also remember, in the world that is mine, I have a lot of things that I like to get into. It's just not enough of me to stretch me out to get to all the things I would like to work on, okay? I'm sitting here in the Nighthawk Network studios, for example. You see these? These, of course, are tennis balls. At some point, I was supposed to be working on finding a couple folks to hit a few balls with. Not necessarily no competitive games, just something to get the exercise going, okay? Now, the advancement of pickleball, I think I'm more interested in playing some pickleball now. Tracy is saying we need our naps. Rest and exercise is important. And I need all of that. In fact, all those things are things that the doctor has basically advised me to do in recent times, particularly with the exercise and the getting the appropriate rest. I do have a few appointments to hit this summer with that. Probably be back on that darn CPAP machine. If y'all familiar with CPAP, gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, in the end, right now, I am literally 330 plus pounds. That's not a good deal. At this weight, there won't be too many more I Am Nighthawk shows, season finales at this weight, okay? Definitely got to get some of this weight up off of me. I had vowed that this would be the last year I would be over 300 pounds. We are halfway through the year almost, and we not getting there. That's a bad dude. Gotta work on it. Got to work on it. Got gym memberships, hardly ever go. All these things are bad. Bad, bad, bad. But we have not given up the good fight, okay? As I told the class of 2025, it's about making the adjustments. It's about knowing that, okay, sometimes this route ain't the better way. Let's try another route. That's about where we are here with this thing, okay? Understand that when you are grown and taking care of your own, the struggle is real sometimes. Really real. Really, real deal hurt it feel, okay? And some help is needed at times, and sometimes some help is given. At this time, I got to talk about some of the people in my village that have helped along the way. Pastor Sean Love, you know what you did. I am thankful, sir. I am very thankful. You inspire me in ways you know and in ways you don't know. I am thankful for you. Big Meech, you may not know what you do, but you do a lot, sir. We don't talk nearly as often as we could or should. You very busy. Keep in mind, my brother Meech is running for a city council down there in College Park, Georgia. And I wish him luck, and I will try to support your campaign when and how I can, sir. You know what I'm saying? But he is a person that cares about the people. He always has. He cares about his people. He always has. He always will. We appreciate you. In the end, I can only truly speak for myself. I appreciate you. Thank you, family. Tracy, thank you for your support. Popping in when you can. I know you got a lot going on in your world. Again, we don't talk nearly as much as we should. Got to figure that out, sir. If nothing else, let's try to at least get some text chains going and text each other more. How about that, Tracy? We should work on that. Because, again, you are a good advisor. For the few times we have spoken, you have said some things that still stick with me to this very day, sir. Particularly about people and content the context of how people feel you. That's what family is for. And again, remember, skin folks ain't always your kin folks. And because they blood don't always make them family, okay? I'm sure some people feel like that about me. I've earned that from them. I understand that, y'all. I ain't mad at it if you're mad at me. Can't be mad. But there's rationales and reasons for all and everything, okay? Truly care, phone is there. Works both ways. I can call you, call me. You know how that go. As far as my family that's not my blood, you know I got love for you. Because in the end, y'all have been the ones to help sustain me through some of these troubled times. And without some of your contributions and your thoughts and whatnot, it would be so much more difficult to contend with what I'm contending with than it is because y'all exist. So yeah, Boo Lee, CJ, y'all know who y'all are. My village. And of course, the Nighthawk Network support crew. Love y'all. Again, we don't talk like we did during the pandemic, but we back living life. We busy, folks. You got it, E-Buck, says Tracy. You got it, Tracy. At this time in having these announcements, I am remiss not to bring up a person that is very much a part of the fabric that is the Nighthawk Network to this day, even though they are no longer with us. One Derek Smith, also known as Helena Hologram. I miss my friend very much every day. Understand we did not know each other long in this life, but the bond we developed in such a short period of time will be with me to the end of my days. We've had some good discussions here in the network, and understand that I do want to share some of those again with you. I know y'all not always going to go back and go to Eric Butler Nighthawk Network Detroit or Big Meech or Aunt Nikki or some of those other things and actually look back through some of the shows we did. But sometimes I do that, and I want to bring some of those discussions back to the air with you. So from time to time, perhaps throughout the summer even, I'm going to start bringing you something that I'm calling the Best of Nighthawk Network, where we will go back through some of those shows and bring you clips from them and some of the discussions that we've had. Keep in mind, if you listen to WTA radio, oftentimes Meech will put on past episodes of his Dish of Tea with Big Meech and some of the conversations he's had over the years with people, some of the conversations we've had. Great discussions, some of them, okay? Well, most of them, let me be honest. Most of them are great discussions in regards to talking about life and values and how certain people view the world, how certain people view certain people. I very much say that if you got a minute, you got some time, check some of that out. Helps me, may help you. Maybe a discussion like, you know what? I never really thought about that. That's kind of what I hope to bring y'all future episodes of I Am Nighthawk. Like I said, we passed some of the things that went on the last few years. I want to bring different discussions. I want to bring new perspectives of some of the older discussions that we've had here on the show moving forward. Want to continue to use the technology and, integrate ourselves with AI, integrate y'all with AI. As older people, we will be the ones left behind if we allow this new technology to overwhelm us and not learn it as quickly as our younger counterparts. We'll get to a point where we'll be sitting here in front of the screen like, I don't know how to work none of this. None of this makes any sense anymore. I got this iPhone. I have no idea how to use it, so on and so forth. You know the frustration that some of our older people have with some of this modern technology. So I always say, if you want to have a project, find an older person, help them. Help them with that iPad. Help them with that iPhone. Help them. Utilize your knowledge to increase theirs. And in turn, you may learn some knowledge from them that you didn't know. It is a great thing. It truly is. Now, that being said, good people, We winding it down for the episode. We're winding it down for the year. Again, thank you to all the people who have viewed over the years. Thanks to the people who have reached out to me to help me along the way over the years. Y'all know who you are. Thank you for the few people in general who were, if not for your help, I would not be sitting here right now. I literally probably would not be on the face of the earth if not for some of the things you have said and, more importantly, the things you have done. There are people out there, I owe you great debts of kindness. I owe you money. I have not forgotten. I am working towards my goals so I am able to hopefully repay your kindness and then some. That is part of my mission moving forward. Again, got to get me together so I can get it together. Like I said, a lot of work to do. And like I said, and over the summer, I am taking a class or two online. Understand that we should always be a work in progress and continuing to learn where and when we can. We have this marvelous tool called YouTube that we can go to and pretty much look up darn near anything in the billions of videos that it has and learn how to do something extra. So for those of you just looking to do something different and new, whether it's a new recipe or a new skill or some DIY or whatever the case may be, utilize that tool. Don't always just go on there and find stuff to laugh at and chuckle and whatnot. Sometimes use it as an educational tool. You'll be amazed at what you can learn with just a few videos. There would be no Nighthawk Network if not for not only the contributions of my big brothers, Big Meech and Big Red. Shout out to Big Red, by the way. He got a new album out. Check it out. You go to Big Red Fella on YouTube, Spotify, all that. It'll pop up. Check him out. Especially if you're into that blues thing, you will very much enjoy it. Anyway, like I said, if not for their contributions and the many tutorials and whatnot I've looked at over the years to help me learn things, including this EV Mux, I would not be where we are today with the network. And I am thankful. I am now imparting some of that wisdom to other folks and helping them with some of their podcast goals and ventures and dreams. So I am thankful for that knowledge. Again, shout out to all the people in my existence who have helped to create a better existence for myself. I am truly blessed in that regard. I thank you. And also know that I'm here to help when I can, where I can. And I will continue to progress and do what I need to do to be a better version of myself. And I pray that you do the same on your end. Because we all should be working toward a better day, a better us. Because if you know better, you do better, right? That part. Okay, people, so that being said, we're going to call it a show and call it a season. Everything being everything, we should be back end of August, early September with more new episodes. I Am Nighthawk and the other shows. Again, there will be bits and pieces of stuff that we will put out in terms of content. Of course, I am still doing my WNBA broadcast that I call What Up, Though, in the dub. Basically, the latest and greatest of what's going on in WNBA. We'll have a new episode of that, hopefully for you tomorrow. Some good games going on, particularly this weekend in the W. So looking forward to talking about those. You will find that on IG and on the TikTok. Okay? I might post a little bit on Facebook. We'll see. Anyway, good people, again, thank you. I love y'all. Thank you for your understanding, for your prayers, wisdom. I return them to you as well. I will catch up with who I need to catch up with sooner than later. Again, I thank you. I love you. And this has been the I Am Nighthawk Show. E-Buck. Season 5 in the books. Signing off. Deuces.